Dr. Kiran Mazumdar-Shaw, Chairperson, IIM Bangalore, Professor Devanath Tirupati, Director, distinguished faculty and staff of IIMB, parents, family and friends of students, and dear students. I feel honored at being invited to deliver this address at the 39th Annual Convocation of IIM Bangalore, an institution of high learning and global standards. Let me begin by congratulating all of you, graduates, fellows, executives, policymakers and managers, and leaders from the government and non-government sectors who have successfully completed your studies and have received your diplomas today, and especially those who have excelled with distinction and awards. I am very impressed with the wide spectrum of courses covered at the Institute, and also your outreach to different stages in the careers of executives from the private sector, the public sector, NGO sector, and policymakers. The Centers of Excellence at IIMB have reached out to areas of growing importance, such as corporate governance and social responsibility, software enterprise management, supply chain management, financial markets and risk management, and also entrepreneurial learning. The Center for Entrepreneurial Learning, I understand, helps students to incubate their ideas and form startups, thus taking learning a step further. This is as it should be, since IIM Bangalore is located in a city which has been the gateway to India's global competitiveness. Most recently, I am delighted to see that the Ministry of Urban Development, Government of India, has chosen IIMB to nurture a center of excellence in urban planning and management. Given the importance of urbanization in the current stage of our development, I cannot think of a better place than here to begin building our capacities in urban planning and management. Half of India's population today is below the age of 25. Most of you graduating from the postgraduate program in management belong to that half. This means that you, ladies and gentlemen, were literally cutting your teeth when India decided in 1991 to begin the process of opening up our economy to competition from foreign trade and investment. As you went to school and then college, you have seen India's economic growth accelerating from 5.5% per annum in the 1990s to close to 8% per annum in the following decade. It is only reasonable to expect that you will not settle for anything less. My own view is that the recent major slowdown in growth is an aberration and can be corrected through appropriate policies. I also believe once the irreducible uncertainty associated with an election is over, no matter which government comes to power, growth will pick up. The period from 2001 to 2011 was a period of rapid growth of the kind India has never seen before. This growth was driven by the private sector and led by the services sector. If IT, BPO, financial services, and healthcare services played a major role in this acceleration, then pharmaceuticals, auto components, and automotive sectors displayed the global competitiveness of some of our manufacturing industries. The percentage of population in poverty declined to 25%, although there were legitimate demands for raising the poverty threshold. The long-standing issues of health and education, inclusion and poverty alleviation were beginning to be addressed, though not adequately. Faster growth itself was not without its stresses. First and foremost, growth of employment did not keep pace with the growth of output in the non-agricultural sectors. And there were periods when employment in the formal sector even declined. Expanding employment opportunities in the industry and services sectors, which provide scope for high productivity jobs, continues to be the principal challenge for policymakers as we aim for faster, inclusive, and sustainable growth of the Indian economy in the years to come. It is the only sustainable instrument to make our growth inclusive. The decade of 2001-2011 had to grapple with the old challenges of inadequate and poor quality infrastructure and macroeconomic vulnerability, while it also faced the new challenges of skill deficit and unplanned urbanization. I propose to speak on the challenges of urbanization in India. Before I do that, let me say that if we are to experience sustained growth rates of 7 to 8% per annum, faster growth of GDP has to come from industry and services, since agriculture at best can grow at 4 to 4.5% per annum. Urban share of GDP is currently estimated at about 63%, and this is projected to increase to 75% by 2030-31. This implies that urbanization will gather momentum in the years to come. As of 2011, we had only 31% of our population living in urban areas, compared with 48% in China, 83% in Korea, and 87% in Brazil. India's urban population is projected to increase to 40% by 2030-31, which I believe is an underestimate. As Indian economy resumes its journey to 7 or 8% growth, many cities will experience peripheral expansion, with smaller municipalities and large villages surrounding the core city becoming a part of the metropolitan area. We will also need more cities acting as engines of growth for providing the economies of agglomeration. We economists have often identified investment climate with ease of doing business. Actually, investment climate is as much about ease of living in a location as about ease of doing business. Even if we were to reduce the transactions cost of doing business to zero, who would want to invest in our industry and services sectors if our cities cannot provide the basic amenities of everyday living and civic infrastructure for public health, such as clean water and sanitation? If we are to attract skilled persons like you, people who will bring in innovations, create employment opportunities, generate wealth, and help raise the standard of living of our people, then we need to improve significantly the state of our cities so that they can compete with alternative destinations abroad which are waiting with open arms for people like you. In fact, we need to put your management training to fix the state of our cities. Our cities are visibly deficient in the services they provide. You are all familiar with the challenges of getting from one place to another in Bengaluru and the constant pressure of congestion and pollution, be it solid waste management or wastewater treatment, availability of drinking water from a treated source, or public transport and the state of our roads, pavements, and traffic support infrastructure, or indeed conservation of green spaces. The state of our cities is far from what we should expect for basic living comfort. It is also far short of what is needed to realize their economic potential. But I bring some good news to you. Change in urban India is not only in the air, but is beginning to show on the ground. I have traveled extensively over the past 5 years to cities and towns of India, large and small, and I find that some cities have brought about a transformation in a short period of time which we would not have thought possible. Whether it is continuous water supply from a treated source for all in the small town of Malkapur in Maharashtra, or inspiring stories of solid waste management in Pune, Rajkot, and Pammal, or wastewater treatment in Navi Mumbai, Surat, and Chandigarh, or improvement in public transport scenario through buses in this very city of Bengaluru and BRTS in Ahmedabad, Indian cities are on the road to transforming themselves. Similarly, e-governance with back-end integration has made a significant difference to our travails of getting birth or death certificates, building sanctions, or paying property tax and utility bills. Bengaluru in Karnataka, Hyderabad in Andhra Pradesh, Kalyan, Dombivli, Pune, and Pimpri Chinchwad in Maharashtra, Ahmedabad and Surat in Gujarat are only some examples of what e-governance has accomplished in improving service delivery in these cities. In all these cases, capacity to plan and manage at the local level, an enabling environment provided by the state government, human leadership, and use of new technology, particularly IT, has played a major role in bringing about the transformation. A major game changer has been a strategic initiative by the Government of India to launch the Jawaharlal Nehru National Urban Renewal Mission in 2005 in partnership with the state governments. The Government of India has not only provided a large part of the funds, but nudged the state governments and city governments to carry out certain reforms. While I have been documenting this transformation in my recent writings, we need to look deeper into what has made this possible and put the capacities, institutions, and policies in place across the urban landscape of India. I realize that as you, the PGMP graduates, step into the real world looking for opportunities of employment and enterprise, the world is your playfield. Some of you will join multinational corporations with offices in different parts of the world, including India. Others may find opportunities in India in the private sector or in the government or non-government sectors. I hope that the crying need for better management of our cities will also attract your attention as you make this transition from learning to the marketplace. Wherever you are, you will be striving to give your best. IIMB has shown you the way by benchmarking itself against global best standards and practices. I wish you well in your chosen assignments. For those of you who have taken time out from your busy careers to learn and reflect, you will go back to your assignments with renewed vigor. The challenges before our economy and our society are formidable, particularly since we have chosen the democratic way. I am confident that with your training in this institution of excellence, you will help shape contemporary India through model governance practices and shared social responsibility. Congratulations once again, and thank you for giving me this opportunity to share my thoughts.